All right, everyone, listen. There is a secret you are missing out to help you sell your home and your clients sell their home for $17,400 and more dollars than it is currently being listed for. And it is probably not what you think it is. Zillow came out with an insane report, and we're going to actually share with you these top things that you can do to add another 17K plus to the sale of your home / your client's home. So we're starting that right now. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Scale Through the Fail. My name is Robert Bean, and I am the host of the show. And today we are going to you don't hear audio right now? Hey, if you're watching right now, tell me in the comments if you can hear me talking. It sounds like there's an audio problem. Says it's coming through on my end. If you're listening right now and tuning in, just tell me real quick in the comments if you can hear me. On my side, it said it's working, but I don't want to talk for an hour and it not actually be working. I'm gonna tune in on my my own phone actually and see. Okay, you can't hear me? All right, it's just Larry then. Just Larry. Yeah, Larry, everybody's saying it's working. You give me a heart attack. Okay, sorry guys. We were just testing to make sure that that the sound was working. Little back end just to make sure. Also, thank you, Facebook user, whoever you are, that said yes, you can hear me. That was a relief. All right, so today's pretty crazy because we're going to be talking about because everybody wants to sell their house for more, and I'm sure your clients would love to know if you can how you can help them sell their house for more. Now, here's the thing: a lot of agents don't actually have a plan on how they could help their clients sell money for more. And sell their house for more money. Sorry. And part of that is just because they haven't been taught the basics of what it means to actually, beyond just marketing a property, what things actually produce more dollars. That's an important thing to know. So we're actually going to cover some very unusual things that can add $17,000 plus to your sale of your home, your client's home. We're also going to be checking out SBF, Sam Bankman-Fried's $40 million Bahama penthouse, and talking a little bit about that, What's going on there? So without further ado, let's first get into what the mortgage is going on this week. Larry, what's up, brother?
What's up, boss? Can you hear me? Hopefully.
I hear you.
Okay, good. I don't know. I have no idea what happened. I hear everything, but I can hear you for some reason. So I'm glad I was able to hear after logging back in.
You're here. That's all that matters. So, Larry, what the mortgage is going on?
Actually, not much, but a lot. Okay. So
Not much, but a lot.
I'm gonna explain to you why, right? So
Okay.
the mortgage rates probably aren't quite as low as you may have heard, and what I mean by that is everyone's hearing rates are low, but a lot of it could be because of information that's a little bit slower than normal, and that's the Freddie survey, right? Freddie and Fannie are the two government agencies that sort of manage trading of the mortgage-backed securities and such, and because, and of course the mortgages as well, and because Freddie likes to use a weekly average instead of like a daily thing, you might be getting a little bit of dated news, right? So
Right.
this is just something that we want you guys to kind of pay attention to. But the rates did increase from last week. As you can see, they were at 6.18 last week, and now they're at 6.39. But from our perspective in the lending side, this is actually not much of a movement, right? It's kind of like the whole, going sideways thing that we've talked about. Okay.
Right. And this
Uh,
is the week over week, right? We
week over
switched
week.
it over 'cause
Hmm.
instead of the last 24 hours, it's last Friday what we reported on to the most recent report that we had uh, to today.
Yeah. So when
What-
you see this, when you see the screenshots, we're using the screenshot from the report. They're talking about the change from the day before. So it's a 6.39% interest rate right now. It went down from 0.03 points from the day before. That's what that number is.
Right. So don't the plus and minuses that you see are not they're gonna look off compared to the numbers, but we're trying to keep it week over week. So
Yep.
last week it was 6.18. This week is a 6.39.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. The MBS, which of course is the mortgage-backed securities, which affects interest rates, it actually went down a little bit by about 60 cents. But I told you guys in the past, if it's around the $100 range, 99, 101, that's usually good news. So it went down a little bit from yesterday, but it's from our perspective still kind of holding steady. And of course, when you look at the overview scores are usually lower than the 30-year fixed, but they did go up again slightly, and this is across the board. They're still in the fives, but high fives. If you look at the FHA and like the VA, they're right there between 5.97 and 6%. So again, we said that the mortgage rates probably aren't quite as low as you may have heard because of the fact that Freddie uses a weekly survey.
Yep.
But still worth noting because Freddie does control a lot of or manages a lot of the mortgage based systems, right? But like when I said not much to report, but a lot to report, nothing too sensational because it was pretty consistent from last week's, right?
Yeah.
If you look at the days, like you look at Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, they were kind of just again going sideways. Okay.
Mhm.
So we're not really panicking or anything like that. It's just business as usual. But the reason why I say we have big news, in again, the average lender dropped a little bit, but there's not much to really write home about. But the fact that the mortgage rates did not go up is big news because of the employment and the CPI index that was announced, right? The Fed
Yeah.
information, and everything, right? We were expecting volatility. We were expecting, maybe they would make an announcement that would dramatically increase rates, or maybe even drop rates, but it really just kind of kept the same because it matched the forecast, meaning inflation is continuing to moderate. It's what's happening is expected. So because of that, we're already pre-adjusting to that. So
Yeah.
I think that's good news, a news that's worth announcing because that might be a sign of things getting better in the future.
Yeah, I mean the stock market opened up since its best since February, best number since February. So there's some optimism on the investing side of things. Um, so I mean, again, you take it all with a grain of salt, and like we preach every single week, you as an agent need to be informed. You as a client need to be prepared, so that when the opportunity is ready, you're ready. And you can take advantage of it because there is money to be made, there's money to be saved, and there's a lot of opportunity on the table.
Yeah, and we've talked about this before, and Robert, your philosophy or your perspective has always been if it's boring, if it's predictable, it's a lot better for us, right?
Absolutely.
It makes it so it's less stressful. You kind of know what's on the table, and you can make decisions based on that. But like we say, get prepared because you never know. There's a chance that the rates might drop and you can take advantage of that, right?
Hmm.
And also, inversely, if it starts to go up, you can stop the bleeding like we've done before. So it's good to be boring. Obviously, we want to be boring on the lower rate, but it's better than it being exciting going up, which is what we've seen a lot in the past couple of months.
Yeah, agreed. For everybody tuning in, by the way, drop a comment on where you're viewing from. We would love to know what states, what cities, what who knows, maybe we'll have referrals to send you. We always need more people in our network. So that was what the mortgage is going on, guys. Again, interest rates are sort of down. We have to actually, I forgot to tell Nicole Miza that we're doing the week over week. So interest rates are down over the last 24 hours. They're
Yep.
up week over week. So we'll switch it going forward to week over week. Forgive me for that. So we'll just pretend that didn't happen. Uh,
Well, it's important for the clients to know, or people watching to know what rates they're doing in the last 24 hours anyway. So
I mean,
either way, it's good
it's
information.
just so tough. Like, I mean, the other alternative is that we add a week over week one and then a 24-hour one.
Yeah,
And
and
so we
that's
say
that's
week over
that's
week, here's what we're doing, and then in the last 24 hours, here's what's happened.
yeah, and that's not really the purpose of the show, right? The purpose of the show is to give you a weekly update and give you sort of like
Yeah.
what Freddie does, right? We talked about it, right?
Yep.
Freddie has an average of what happened in the past week. That's what we're kind of providing you what happened in the past week, right? But
Exactly.
we always encourage you to be vigilant and look it up for yourself, right? Do your own research
Yeah.
and find out what's going on every single day.
To be honest, I think a wise decision for lenders for their follow up, and some lenders will be like, well, agents will want to see this. Let me tell you, you don't want to work with an agent who doesn't want to stay informed. That agent's going to be difficult in more ways than one. Maybe they have a great personality, but if they don't want to stay on top of it, they won't stay on top of other things. I think a great thing would be if a lender for his preferred agents, right, that partner with him or her, that they send out a email every morning or even just a text message saying, hey, here's what rates are looking like today. It's looking pretty good. To be honest, hey, I'm throwing this idea, Larry. I want you to tell me what you think. What if, let's say you have and forgive me, it's an arbitrary number. Let's say you work with 50 agents and they know you, right? So it's not spam. It's not, right. These people know you. They want to hear from you. You're their main guy. So what if you even just had a text list where you just gave them alerts on changes that were happening? Because I mean, sometimes it's not like people keep you always informed on what clients are thinking, saying, doing. Um, but imagine, like, would it not be a motivating factor for a client to hear that interest rates dropped and the houses they're viewing this weekend would now have a new sense of urgency?
Yes.
Interest rates are good right now. Maybe I should really think seriously about getting an offer and getting my paperwork in, all of this in right away, because there's an opportunity here that isn't there. Because what happens is we become lax. Like you said, sideways. You know what?
Mhm.
The average person, when they hear sideways, they go, okay, I don't need to do anything.
Yep.
Things are chill.
Yep.
Right. But when supply was limited, everybody wanted to see homes, put in offers, sight unseen, no contingencies. There was no reason. There was no logic. So what that tells us is that, one, we need to make sure we're expertly guiding people, because they won't do their due diligence. And that is the truth, guys. And if there's some consumers here, some homeowners are like, that's rude. Listen, statistically, I don't know you. I can only
Yeah.
speak in a general sense. And in a general sense, the vast majority of people do not read the lines in the contract. They do not think about the contingencies. They do not ask the questions. And agents do the same thing. And so, but as agents, we are the representatives. We carry a certain liability. Same for loan officers and other members. So I guess my point is like, stay informed. If you're a loan officer, try to inform them. Don't like, and again, I want your thoughts, but don't be a passive loan officer who's just like, I hope the agents come to me and ask the questions. Don't. Go out there and start the conversation. Hey, Robert, just want to let you know interest rates are looking hot today. If you've got clients on the fence, this would be the time to tell them to get off right away. By the way, I'm available for the next 2 hours if they need to get that finished up. And you create those opportunities, because then the loan officers, you're being more proactive. You're trying to get the agent more involved. You're showing your value. Then the agents now have a conversation starter, because they're always weighing that balance, especially in our industry where agents act like they have to be best friends with everyone. So I can't tell them that. I can't say that. And I'm like, your lawyer would have no problem telling you, don't do that. That's illegal. Or don't do that. That's a bad decision. Or shut your mouth. Let me do the talking. Your
Yes.
lawyer doesn't have a problem saying that. As a real estate agent, first, we're supposed to advocate for the best interests of the party, and the best interest of the party is based off of their goals. So anyway, that was my tangent, but I don't know. What do you think, Larry?
I think it's a great idea. It gives loan officers an opportunity to stay in front of their potential referral partners. Because, I mean, a referral partner is only a referral partner if you're doing a deal with them, right?
Mhm.
So it's like, let me help you grow your business. Let me help you, give you some talking points. Let me give you some content to share with your database. Therefore, maybe converting someone in your database or people that are on the fence, and hopefully because I'm the one who provides you the information, you refer that individual to myself, right? So I think it's a great
Right.
idea.
Like,
Uh,
think about it this way, like, check how I think this would be super cool, right? So imagine, right, you and I are working together, I'm the agent, you're the loan officer, and you sent me a text message, right, or an email, whatever, doesn't matter, and you sent me something written, and you said, "Robert, you know, heads up, rates dropped, let's say 0.5% or something like that, right? 0.5%." And then you go, on a $500,000 home, that is this much a month that they could be saving. Then I can go to my clients and be like, "Listen, you could be saving 70 to $100 a month," or whatever it is, right? I didn't do the math because I just thought of it. But you could be saving 70 $100 a month if we go and get this done now.
mhm,
Now they have an understanding. It's broken down in a way that they get. Anybody can understand what it means to save $100 a month.
yes,
They
it's
may not
tangible.
understand 0.5%. Oh, that doesn't sound very good. That doesn't mean, and again, my math, I'm sure, is wrong. I haven't done anything on it. But the point is that you break it down in a way the loan officers use their knowledge and skills to
Mhm,
break it down for agents so that
mhm.
agents then can go break it down for clients and everybody can make a more informed decision because the urgency's there, but the information's provided as well.
Yep, I agree 100%. I think that's very smart. I teach a class, and one of the concerns is their clients are concerned about interest rates. They're concerned about getting the best interest rate. Why? Because they want to pay less money. So that's a pain point.
Who would have thought?
Yeah, it's a major pain point for most people who aren't wanting to buy right now. They're worried about how much it costs. So if there's an opportunity to save 50, 100, a couple $100, like you said, depending on the math, that might be worth mentioning to your sphere or your database or your prospects who are not quite ready until they feel like it's a good buying decision financially.
Yep.
So, yeah.
All right, let's get some more fun stuff, guys. It is time for what the funny fact. Random funny and weird real estate facts that just make you go, what the ff.
It always sounds like you're about to say it every
I
single
know,
time.
right?
Yeah.
Guys, if you have a funny real estate related fact you want to submit, just leave a comment and we might feature it. Because if you can't tell, we have fun. So the rules are, to the best of our ability, these facts are indeed factual. But do your own research. Please don't like think that I'm like some like investigative real estate fact checking expert. I'm not. I'm not. You will be awarded points based on the scope of your reaction. The points mean absolutely nothing. And then the audience can choose to award you the what title in the comments. I need to make a sound bite for that. It'll be what?
What? What? Little John. What?
Oh yeah, that'd be perfect. We gotta get that. We gotta get a little John clip. I feel like I'd have to pay royalties on that or
You might
something. I
have
don't
to.
know.
Yeah, you might have to.
Yeah, right. Because that's like literally like his trademark.
Yeah. You be using
Oh,
his moneymaker for sure.
that's right. All right. Fact number one. $1 million home values are becoming more common. The number of cities where the typical home values are at least $1 million has grown 51% over the
Wow.
last 5 years. So that's an insane transition into appreciation. 218 cities are deemed $1 million cities, according to a Zillow analysis.
Wow, that's a lot of cities. I can't even name 200. I can't even name 50, I don't
I'd
think.
probably I could probably get to like a dozen. I feel pretty confident about getting to a dozen.
A dozen? I can do that,
I
but
feel pretty confident. I mean, maybe 2 dozen. I feel like 2 dozen I'd start to push
uh
it.
yeah, me
I'd have
too.
to like really be like
I
walking through the timeline.
I would have to write that down. I wouldn't be able to just just verbalize it. It would have to be like written down so I can look at what yeah.
Joe Newman in the comms in the comms in the comments said, because home values went up 10%. It's true. Home values have skyrocketed in the last few years at an unprecedented rate. There were places where so a lot of them you might see 3.5%, 4%, right? And then we had cities that, like, I believe at one point Nashville's year over year was 26%. Like, that shouldn't be possible
Right.
without like physical reasons, but like we just had so many people moving in, so it was this is an important actually distinction. I know what the funny fact, but this is an important distinction between like inflated numbers and growth, because inflated numbers means there's no plausible reason why they should be there. It's a balloon, right? That's another way of looking at it. It's a balloon. But then when you turn around and you just throw all these people trying to buy in Nashville, but the infrastructure, the jobs, like while they changed, they didn't change as dramatically as the increase in price. That's when we turn around and we say, okay, that's where market corrections come in. Because if the value had risen with the prices, then the prices would have remained stable, because it's like the gold standard. It was based off something. There was a base behind it. So anyway, everyone looking at like New York, LA, Chicago homeowners like millionaire, next exit, right?
Yes.
But homeowners in those cities trying to find the millionaire part of their homeownership. Like, yeah, where's that million you talking about? Because I don't see it. So fact number 2, Warren Buffett is one of the richest men in the world, and he still lives in the same house he bought in 1958. He paid $31,000 for it, 31.5. Which, first of all, there's a lot of things in there to unpack. Like, first of all, he's one of the richest guys in the world. He still lives. I believe he drives the same car too.
Wow.
And he's from what I know, he's a very modest man for the most part. I mean, obviously he has lavish expenses, but a lot of times it's tied to business related assets. Most of his personal assets are fairly modest. I mean, even over Zuckerberg's $8 million, home in wherever we said. So let's break that down in case you want to know just how wealthy Warren Buffett is, though. Okay. He bought this home, right, for 31.5. Smart buy. Good job, buddy. Also, 31.5 is how much he makes every 74 seconds.
Wow.
So every 74 seconds, like he makes it's 31.49 or something. Like I went and did the math, because I kind of took about how much he makes a day and broke it down, and it was insane. I was like, how is that even possible? Like, it's hard to wrap your head around that. It reminds me of the in Bill Gates's peak time. It was like peak wealth time when he was making the most amount of money. It was like every time Bill Gates reached down to pick a penny up off the ground. So we're talking about maybe a 3-second, 6 seconds max type of transaction. He made $7,000.
Yeah.
Like, so, I mean, I'm gonna pick a penny up off the ground. Cha-ching! I just made $7,000. Like,
yes.
The absurdity of that. It's just so hard to wrap your head around. Like, what? What? Joe Newman says he buys his coffee at McDonald's. Yes, yeah, that's right. Warren Buffett, man, such a chill guy, and arguably he will have the most incredible stock trading legacy to ever exist. He has just outperformed everyone, and it's not just by a little bit, guys. Like, if you look at some of the companies that he publicly trades, his main one, his firm, his fund, Berkshire, it's okay. So let's look at like Amazon, right? Okay, Amazon stock, I think, is a very good stock to compare, because it's arguably one of the biggest, most prominent companies in the world. Can we agree on that?
Yes.
Okay, so their stock price is sitting at 101.6. Okay, so $101 basically. Okay, the Berkshire Hathaway Class A is sitting at $497,000.
Wow.
It is $500,000 for one stock.
Wow.
Like, what? It's up 1.2% today, which is $6,000. So just the percentage it is up today is absurdly high. It's just when I first looked at stock trading, I saw that and I was like, wait, is that a glitch? Because like Google, right, was like $100, right? And then like a Tesla in its peak was like, what is it, $600 or something like that. You saw in some of these, they've gone up to 1,500, 1,600, 2,000, right? And those are considered absurd, right? Absurd numbers. I mean, truly, right? And then I saw this and I was like, what is happening? Like, how is that even possible? So yeah, you want a legacy when it comes to being really good at what you do. Yeah, that's pretty good. All right, fact number 3. In 2013, a Pontiac in Pontiac, Michigan. Oh, a Pontiac. Yeah, that's right. I remember this one. A Pontiac, Michigan man whose home was scheduled to be demolished by the town pulled a switcheroo on the wrecking crew. He swapped his house numbers with a neighbor's house numbers, and the city hired demolition crew took a wrecking ball to the wrong house.
Wow. That has to be criminal, right?
Well, of course it is, right? Because you're falsifying public information.
Yeah. Oh my
right?
God.
But but there's so many things, because one, he was legally notified of this, so right, he's disobeying an ordinance and things like that. First of all, that's the first thing that came to my head. Like, I was like, what did I just read? Like, what the heck? Okay. Second, the neighbors, here's what happened, of the mistaken demolished home were celebrating. Okay.
Interesting.
Seriously, they celebrated the home that actually got torn down. Neighbors said that the home was an eyesore and a frequent hangout for squatters. First of all, like, I understand being upset with neighbors and things like that, but it's kind of weird, in my opinion, to go and be like, yes, I'm glad your home got destroyed when it wasn't supposed to. I just feel like there's some disconnect there. Like, hey, you're a sucky neighbor and I don't really like you. I'm glad your home got destroyed.
Yes.
What? And literally, when it got destroyed, some of the neighbors went up to the reporters with smiles on their faces. It wasn't just one. And I'm like, this is like some like, those like old movies, like from the, like, I'm going to get my era wrong. I think it was the 70s, like Prisoner. It's a great show. It was like 9 seasons, called Prisoner. If you know what Prisoner is, let me know in the comments. It was amazing escape this perfect community. And it's like, it gets those vibes of like, you don't belong here, we'll literally destroy your house type of vibes. So it was absolutely crazy. Here's the demolition crew. I'm guessing like just coming in. Because like, man, you can't even say wrecking ball anymore and not mention Miley Cyrus to some degree, right?
Yes.
So here's the other thing, though. Okay, so I did a little bit of investigating, right, on this, and it turns out it seemed like it was intentional fraud. They switched the homes, one, for insurance reasons, but also, if a home is wrongly destroyed by the city, the lawsuit behind that is insane.
Yeah, I would expect so. Yeah, for sure.
Right. And so you have to think, if this home was really crappy, does that sound like a coincidence? The one home on the street that is just garbage is the one that gets switched, accidentally wrecked, which that's a whole different problem by itself. And then someone sues the city right away, and you're like, so it seems like it was fraud. I can't remember it all. So for those watching, which one was your favorite? Larry, I want to know which one's your favorite. Number 1, unsuspecting millionaires. Number 2, Buffett buys a house every 74 seconds. And number 3, demolished. New number. Who this?
So I'll tell you, number 1 and number 2 is like almost like noise, right? If we talk about noise and news, because that's not a surprise, right? But number 3, that's a surprise. Like, what happened?
Shock.
There? Like, how can you make that happen? And I mean, now that you say it's fraud and stuff like that, okay, I can see someone.
But even that's shocking. Like going to that extent of an actual destruction of a home. It's like people who commit insurance fraud and they burn down their house, their business, and you're like, how are you that extreme?
But in this case, you someone else burned down the house, and there's someone that you can actually sue for a lot of money, right? And at the same time, I mean, you can't really blame the demolished people, because if that's the crappy house, is the crappiest looking house in the entire neighborhood, it makes sense to knock down that house, right? So yeah,
And just so you know, nobody was in the house when they knocked it down. They still did their proper checks. And to be honest, I don't think ever in a million years would you ever look at this and be like, hey, I wonder if those house numbers are right and someone switched them.
yeah,
Because the reality is like, let's think about this for a second. Let's say I pull up to a house to show a house to a client, and the neighbors had switched their numbers. Why would I ever think that would even exist? And what would I even do to verify it, right? Like what would you even do? How would you, what, you think the guy driving the tractor knows how to pull up the tax records, read the deeds and the plot maps, and then map it out? You think he called the builder and said, what's the plot map, man? I need to make sure I have that. Like, I'm sure all of that was done prior, and it was established. The order was given, and then they show up, they do their safety check, hence nobody being injured or killed. And then they turn around and they wreck the house.
Yep.
Seems pretty plausible, because I've tried to put myself in their shoes. At first I judged them, right? Because we're human. We always judge everybody else and think we're better. And I'm like, how could they do that? And then I'm like, wait a second. How would I have prevented that? I wouldn't have even thought to check the house number. It's already on there.
I would have made that mistake. If I was the driver,
down.
I would have done the same thing. Yeah.
Hands down. So yours is number 3. Mine's number 3. Leave a comment for what you guys think is the winner of What the Funny Fact today. Joe says number 3. And was all their personal property in there? I believe so, Joe. I believe that all their personal property was in there. If there wasn't, that case would get thrown out so fast.
Yeah, they would know. They'd be like, these people were preemptive. They knew about it. They were prepared that their house was going to get wrongly wrecked, right? They would have to be some sort of, there had to be some sort of collateral damage to prove that it was unexpected.
That should be like a female wrestler's name. Wrongly wrecked. Is wrongly wrecked.
That would be a good name.
All right, did that make you go, what the FF? Leave a comment with your random funny fact, and we might just feature it in a future episode. And we'd love to give you a shout out too. All right, now let's get into some actual serious business here. She said she should sell your house for $17K more plus FTX mansion. So this one was a bit of a shocker when I was reading through. According to Zillow, a recent report on Zillow, she sheds. I always have to say that twice, right? Like, think about it. She sheds can actually sell your house for $17,400 more dollars. Yep. So here's a couple things that, like, chef-friendly amenities such as steam ovens, pizza ovens, and professional-grade appliances can increase a home sale price by 5.3%.
Wow.
Now, if we turned around and put that on like a $500,000 home, let's do 5.3% plus 5.3%. That is an extra $26,500. Right. So I say 17,400 because we kind of use some averages in cities. Right. But, go to LA and add 5.3% increase in sales price. And that's absurd. Right. But I was really shocked about the steam ovens. Okay. First of all, I didn't even know that people knew about those. That just sounded like those random things you'd find in a mansion that nobody even uses. Right. Pizza ovens, I know people like those, but I was really surprised to find that people would pay more for a home for a pizza oven when they could just go buy it. Like, we're not talking about like foundries, right? Like these giant, brick. We're talking about like pretty modest, like, 500 to a couple thousand. But I would not pay more on a mortgage for a pizza oven. I'll just go buy it myself. I could probably finance it for 0% interest rate on my credit card.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
So I was really shocked. Chef grade professional grade appliances, that's pretty normal actually for anybody. Everybody likes to feel like they have a fancy fridge, like stainless steel. Statistically, if something's stainless steel, it will command a higher price point. But the perception of value, even if the quality, let's say you have an all black oven and the quality and the brand is better, and you put it next to a stainless steel oven, the perception of value will automatically go to the stainless steel, even if the black oven is more valuable and better quality. It's crazy. It's just crazy, our perception of value. So she sheds, seriously, 5.3%. Steam ovens, pizza ovens. I mean, it's like what? So yeah, this is an article from Zillow. And for those who don't know, Zillow is an aggregate of a ton of data in the home. So I would actually trust this survey. As much as you can trust a survey, I would trust this survey. I bet you it's a large pool of data. So a couple other things, though, is I don't know how to say it. Terrazzo. I think it's terrazzo floors. I thought I had pictures in here of it. I just realized I don't. Oh, bummer. I thought I had pictures. So basically, it's like floors that have like the little triangle pieces. It almost looks like artwork, triangle artwork all put together. And then there's a big filler in it. I know. I need to like have a picture or something.
Well, I'm
Terrazzo.
googling it right now myself. Terrazzo.
I know. I'm gonna go look it up because I want you guys to see it. So because we've all seen it. Hands down, we've all seen it. Okay.
Oh, I see what this is. Yeah.
Yeah. Hold on.
It's
I'm
like
gonna just.
it's like it looks like tile with sprinkles in it.
Yeah, there we go. Terrazzo floors. Oh no,
Yeah.
it doesn't show that one. Share this tab instead. There we go. So that's like a more elaborate version, right? But ones we've seen, this one we've definitely seen it in our homes and places like that. So terrazzo floors, right? Which was surprising to me because that commands, hold on, let me pull up my notes again, 2.5% increase in sales.
Wow.
Sales premium, whatever.
Is it more expensive than regular flooring too? Or
yeah, dude, they're definitely more expensive. I think they're like $20, $15 to $20 a square foot, right?
Okay.
And again, it depends on what you compare it to. You have to compare it realistically to other things, right? There are types of wood floors that are crazy expensive. So a couple other notes. Homes with doorbell cameras, heat pumps, and fenced backyards typically sell 5 days faster. Now, here, do you know why? Okay, 2 of them are directly correlated. One's a different reason. Doorbell cameras and fenced backyards. Security. When people believe that something's secure, they're more comfortable making a decision faster than if they believe it's not. Plus, fenced backyards are premium. Having a fenced backyard is very expensive right now to get a new fence. And then heat pumps have a lot to do with convenience. I mean, one of the worst things is not having heat to your water. Truly, like, first world problems, right?
Yes.
And then but here's where it gets a little bit interesting, okay? It's not just what I just listed there. Saltwater pools. First of all, who's looking for saltwater pools? Like, who's got that kind of budget, man?
Not me.
Like, that's some serious budget right there. Outdoor kitchens, that one kind of makes sense. I mean, I still think that's a pretty big luxury, but it's very interesting because what Zillow was polling for. Obviously, stuff like quartz countertops. Quartz is extremely popular. But here's a couple things. So those are things, right? So pizza ovens, saltwater pools, outdoor kitchens, she sheds, terrazzo floorings, quartz countertops, steam ovens, professional grade appliances. Why is this relevant, guys? Well, first of all, if your clients have it, you need to price that accordingly. If they have any of those, you need to know that those actually statistically are valuable. If they don't have it, you need to be aware of what the trends are. I've had clients who are like, well, this is really nice and fancy. And I'm like, really? Because nobody's buying it. And that's the truth. Like, we're just here to interpret the data. And the data says that, the really nice antique table is not a perception of value. Then you need to be able to set realistic expectations. Like, if they have homes with tile countertops, laminate flooring, and believe it or not, walk-in closets. Those hurt the sales value.
Joe asked, what about solar panels?
What about solar panels? Super hit or miss, but generally a negative. And I'm so sorry for all my solar guys. I'm not saying solar is bad or good. I promise you, I'm not saying that. All I'm saying is that solar panels generally damage the roof.
Mhm.
They're hard, almost impossible to insure in a lot of instances. And if anybody ever wants to come on and talk all things solar panels, like, and do a segment with me, please drop a comment. I would love to have you on the show. I'm just taking the data that I know I was aware of, including from insurance agents who have to insure homes with solar panels. Most people do not pay off their solar panels, so it becomes a liability and a debt. Nobody likes to assume someone else's debt ever. We're not like, yeah, bring me your debt. I'll take it.
I've had deals lock up because of the solar panel thing.
I have never ever heard of a deal. Not saying they haven't happened. I'm saying I have never heard of a deal that had solar panels where the solar panels weren't an issue.
Yeah, they always become an issue.
At some point, even fully paid off ones, it doesn't change insurance. It doesn't change the fact that they the life expectancy. You know, a lot of times the math when you do it, by the time the solar panels are paid off, they need to be replaced. It's, you know, it's kind of like cars and things like that. It's like the only problem is they don't appreciate in value. Again, that's why real estate's so great, is that you probably won't ever pay it off, but it'll appreciate in value, so you can still walk with a profit. Cars don't do that. Solar panels don't do that. Other utility items like that don't do that. So you just got to be really careful. It is important for you to know this stuff. And again, if you are a solar panel expert and want to debate this and talk about this, I would love that, because we love bringing information to clients.
Thanks for asking that, Joe. I think that's important information.
Great question, Joe. Seriously, thank you.
Yeah.
So the question is, what practical upgrades can we suggest to our clients to make their homes sell faster in today's market? And what unique features can we highlight in our listings to give them a personal touch and stand out from the competition? So it's kind of what I just said earlier, right? Just know what's valuable. Know what's valuable based off market trends. Price it accordingly. Know what's a problem. Replace, if they've got laminate flooring, you need to get that out of there. Not only will laminate flooring just overall hurt the sales value, but if someone sees laminate flooring, they're going to think it's like the cheapest home ever. Laminate flooring is so dated, and it's so old, and it's so cheap. It'll hurt you. I mean, literally rip up the laminate flooring and then sell the home with the concrete, and you might be better off than leaving the laminate flooring.
Yeah.
And then you just tell them it's like, what do they call it? Like industrial. Oh, yeah. It's an industrial flooring, right? That's like so hip, like industrial, with the exposed roof and the beams, the metal,
the unfinished or unimproved decor. Yeah.
Yep.
The exposed wiring is supposed to be there, you know.
Yeah.
You know, and something that I do want to point out, and I've noticed it's kind of weird. Pools don't increase value, but they sell the houses faster. But they, like, I've been told many times, it doesn't increase the value. Like the appraisal's not going to give
a lot of the same problems of solar panels. And when I say a lot, I mean in a categorical sense, obviously. Yeah, pools increase liability. They take away from yard space, which is important to a lot of people. Remember, for the new buyers that are coming in, the vast majority of them, believe it or not, are buying for their pets.
Wow.
Okay. Less people are having kids. More people are making decisions. That's why Chewy can be a multi-billion-dollar luxury pet company. Like, what the heck? Luxury pet shouldn't even exist, in my opinion. I'm gonna be real for a second. I don't think that should exist, but it's okay. You're allowed to spend the money the way you want to. I'm just saying. But we need to be aware as real estate agents. So if the vast majority of people or if your client has a pet, let me tell you, that pet is going to be heavily factored into the home. Again, in my opinion, choose for yourself and the kids first, but it's fine. It's fine. You know, little poodles over there, you know. But yeah, so I think being aware of what's valuable, what's not, the complications, and you know what would be good, and I'd love, hey, if you're a great insurance agent, this would be fantastic too, a home insurance agent, which I might know a couple too. We should talk about some of the difficult things to insure.
Yeah,
I think that would be a very important thing. I never knew until it happened that a flat roof is almost impossible to insure
Mm.
because there's no drainage. So it is absolutely, it's just a ticking time bomb, right? Jacuzzis, hot tubs, a whole nother problem, right? Are
I
they
do.
affixed? Are they not affixed
I
to the
do love
home?
a. I do love a good jacuzzi though.
Oh yeah, we should have had Chris talking about that today. Like that dude's got an awesome jacuzzi. So Joe answering the question, what unique features can we highlight? He says curb appeal, entryway, kitchen, kitchen, kitchen. You say it 3 times because it is that important. I agree, Joe. And in fact, guys, if you want to check out my TikTok, I have a whole, I think it's a 5-part series that I'm doing that's coming out all about top things that you can be doing to increase the value and the perception of your home. And flooring and paint, these are great ones. Joe, you're on it. Are you an agent? Because you seem to know your stuff. Well done. All right, let's move on. News or noise, though, with the she shed stuff, man, and steam ovens and saltwater pools.
I say news because it's worth thinking about the different advantages that you can take in order to get more value out of the house.
Listen, if someone's willing to pay more, it's news,
I think so. Yes.
right?
Yes,
Or if it
yes.
causes someone to pay less.
I mean,
It's news.
it doesn't matter if we don't care about it or we think it's silly. It doesn't matter what we think, right? What matters is who's buying the house.
What does the
right?
data say, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
All right, so what should you do next? Again, just stay informed. Be aware of what's valuable. Be aware of what's difficult. If a home has solar panels, you need to know how that's going to affect the insurance. You need to talk to your loan officer and say, is this going to be a problem? Right? Maybe the loan officer's like, nope, we're good. But you need to know all of this up front. Hey, listen. And then you're going to present it to your client and you're going to teach them about these things because so many deals get killed because of ignorance.
Yep.
Right? Joe said he's a brokerage owner. Congrats, Joe. Keep crushing it, man. I'm really glad to have you watching the show. Truly, I hope you find value and fun. So I wanted to bring this up because, I love to bring up hypocrisy.
Yes.
So from altruism to excess, Sam Bankman-Fried, for those who don't know, FTX, he was considered the most generous billionaire ever. The nicest billionaire ever. Would always leave his fortune and give to others. Turns out he was a massive fraudster. Who would have thought? Who would have thought that this guy labeled in this way was actually a fraudster? But he's selling off his penthouse for $40 million. If anybody's in the market, it's pretty nice. I didn't put a bunch of pictures up here because I am still a licensed real estate agent. So I actually have to be very careful about if I show a listing and giving proper credit, and there's a lot of regulations I still have to follow. So I'm just taking a news article clipping and just letting you see that. But the reason why I say stuff like this is it's like when we talked about Steph Curry. And he's like, I'm an advocate for affordable housing unless it inconveniences my life. And then I'm not as much of an advocate as I am before. And so the point is to remember for you to take responsibility for your wealth. Okay. I won't get into too much by that because I actually want us to get into reacts. There's another thing I also wanted to cover. But tell me, guys, do you think that the fact that Sam Bankman-Fried is even, first of all, allowed to be selling a home right now with all the things that he was caught doing, he essentially walked away. I know people disagree and they're like, well, he was being charged. And listen, this dude is still living his life. And I have a problem with that, like with the billions that he had, right? So what do you think? Fair, whatever. We won't get into much to it because I actually wanted to share something I saw today and we're going to cover it later. But did you know that the world's copper, okay? And guys, if you don't understand how important copper is, it is part of everything for the most part. I mean, copper is everywhere in like everything, okay? It is presumed that the world's copper might run out or at least be in a deficit for the next like 7 years. Like really bad. A lot of it comes from like the supply streams in South America. Also just people building more. We tend to innovate after the problem gets really bad. And so as long as there's copper, we use copper. until we run out of copper. And then we go, oh no, there's no copper. I guess we need to invent an alternative. Welcome to reactive humans, like the whole human race, right?
Yes.
But it's actually, here's another thing. Copper is used as a pulse check for economic health.
A pulse check of economic
Mhm.
health.
The way that copper is traded and sold, it can actually influence the way that like central banks will make their opinion, because here's the thing, it's a precious metal.
Yes.
And when you look at portfolios of centralized banking, they use precious metals as a gauge. That includes gold, silver, and copper. I did not know that. Gold and silver made a lot of sense.
Yes.
But then you actually look at copper and you're like, well, I mean, copper is extremely important, very valuable, right? And so then you realize, like, isn't it weird to think that like copper, an inanimate object, can influence the way that living human beings perceive the health of the future?
I mean, I guess it makes sense. Like U.S. coins are so it used to be copper, right? Or like
The
pennies.
penny.
Yeah. Yeah. So it makes sense that would be something that would be paid attention to in terms of perceived value of what's going on. So I guess that makes sense. It's so minimal compared to gold and silver from my perspective. No one wears copper freaking chains. You know what I'm saying? So.
That'd be a show of wealth, though. Come on. Like all the jokes people did with toilet paper, like during the shortage, and they're like, oh, how do you say you're rich without saying you're rich? And there's just a stack of toilet paper.
Or like my wife bought like 2.5 dozen eggs from Costco, and I was like, I'm rich, dude. Check this out.
Yeah. Right, the egg stuff. Okay, all right, guys, who's ready for a laugh? Let us get into reacts, and remember, we have a way for you to win a gift card. I want to give you money. I mean, no big. All right. A real estate agent and his trusty, I never edited it, and his trusty loan officer reacting to funny, weird, odd, and surprisingly right or just plain wrong real estate and mortgage content. Just bought a log cabin from IKEA. I actually love this one because it's like it hits on so many levels.
Oh, dude, I'm always building something from IKEA at least once or twice a year. I do live, so I feel this.
Your kids, sure. I'm surprised it's not once or twice a week.
Sometimes, well, yes, it's disposable. Let's just call it what it is. IKEA is disposable furniture. So yes, we're constantly replacing. It really is. Yeah, it's like it might as well be cardboard at this point.
Oh my gosh, that's actually really funny. Disposable furniture.
Yeah, it is.
Man, so I call it the DIY log cabin. All right. The moment after you submit an offer, me, my anxiety, my client, her dog. Where's the lie?
Yes.
I call it post offer feelings. And then I have an actual video for this. Check it out.
And the fact that they sampled New Order was awesome,
right?
I mean, yeah.
Byron, can you demonstrate how the ceiling fan works? Well, if it's a fan wasn't enough, I guess I can show you. Come here, Larry.
I mean, do these guys like practice like at home, or I mean,
I know they got some guts, so I don't think they're like professional dancers. I think they may have just saw a video and was like, we could do that. I'm bald, so you could just spin right on the top of my head.
But I'm saying, how does this start? Like, hey, bro, we got to be ready for these weddings that we're going to be invited to at the same time. So we got to practice this dance because it's going to be a moment where we're going to be able to like show off. Right. I mean, is that how the conversation started?
Practice this. There's just no way.
There's no way they just did this impromptu. There's no way. They either planned it or they tried it before. Maybe as kids, maybe they're brothers and they did it every single day as kids. Who knows? But it's just it couldn't be just on the spot. There's no way.
It's crazy. Absolutely crazy.
Can you play it again? I think
yes,
see it
absolutely. We can play it again.
No, man, that took training.
I mean,
dude.
listen, we gotta watch again. Look at the guy's footwork while he's spinning. Okay, this is class footwork right here. Watch this. Look at that
control. These guys are trained professionals, bro.
These are trained professionals. Okay,
Yeah.
seriously, man, that cracks me up. I saw that and I was like, yeah, I feel like I know what the winner is today.
Yeah.
So vote for your favorite in the comments. Number 1, number 2, and number 3. Number 1 was the DIY log cabin. Number 2 was post offer feelings. Number 3 was how does a fan work?
I mean, I relate to number 1 the most. You see what I'm saying? But number 3 is definitely the one that I would keep on watching. I would share that one more.
I mean, we're watching like 4 times already.
Yeah. That's number 3 is my favorite because of that reason.
Man, that cracks me.
It really is the perfect song too. You know, I mean, yeah. Now every single time I hear that song, I'm gonna think about this ceiling fan. You know.
Joe says number 3. It sounds like number 3 is a winner easily, hands down today.
Yeah,
man. Now you know what I want is like I want to get like a real estate agent like playlist going of like
all the
songs
dances
for different stages of like a client experience, like when you're writing an offer, when your offer's accepted. Like that would be a really fun playlist. Who thinks I should do that?
I
create like this playlist.
Yeah, I think so. Yes, I'd listen to it.
All right, guys, want to win a gift card and be featured on the show? It's very simple. Just leave a comment with the content piece for us to react to, or a link to it if it doesn't let you post it. On multiple platforms, if you want to. We are on multiple platforms just to make sure we see it. Make sure to like, subscribe, and subscribe to at Scale Through the Fail on YouTube, and turn on notifications because if you win, you want to know that you won, and then tune in live to see if you won. But seriously, and then we'll give you a gift card if you win. Simple as that. Like, yeah, I think like you're already on TikTok, so you know, get it. Man, that was a good time. Larry, thanks for being on the show. We did good today. We were on
man. Even with my goofy technical, I really blame StreamYard. Like when the moment, because we talked before, and then when you went live, it just blanked out. I'm like, what happened to my sound? But then I heard your theme music. I'm like, okay, it's not my sound, it's StreamYard. You know, but I logged off, logged back in, it all fixed. So whatever, it worked. But yeah, sorry about that little glitch in the morning or in the beginning.
I still think we did great on time. I mean, even with my tangent earlier.
You did go on a tangent a little bit on one of the funny facts. But hey, the funny facts is funny, but also factual and important. So I mean, I like it.
You know, like we talked about, I think it was the first fact that I was talking about it. Like being a millionaire, and was it that one? I can't even remember now.
No, it was the Warren Buffett one.
Oh, it was about stocks and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah,
that's important information. I mean, in reality, I mean, Warren Buffett is obviously a mega influencer, is what I would call him, in all things finance and real estate. Right?
He is a legend.
Yeah, definitely worth following. Definitely, and it's kind of cool that someone like in his position is a cool guy. Just like Joe Newman said, humble enough to get coffee from McDonald's. No lie, though, McDonald's coffee is actually pretty good. Right? I think the top.
I don't drink coffee.
I mean, you see me sipping on this.
That's like 20 how you know I'm a serial killer. Obviously, that's what I've been told. So you're the serial killer. Yeah, that's me.
Yeah, absolutely. That's how you find the first suspect is who doesn't drink coffee.
All right, guys. Larry, thanks for being on the show, man. Always appreciate it. Can't wait to have you back next week with a whole new series of What the Funny Fact, major news or noise going on in real estate, and then some reacts as well. So thanks for being on the show, brother. Always appreciate you. And I think this may be the first time that we've ended on time. So that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, I'm pretty proud of us.
Appreciate you, brother. See you next week.
Later, boss.
For everyone else that was still watching, that was Scale Through the Fail, where we bring you real estate news, noise, and what's next, as well as just some funny facts, some random facts, some weird facts, and then also some real estate reacts. If you've got anything you want to submit for funny facts or reacts, make sure you do subscribe, like, follow, share, do all that good stuff. If we brought you any value with the news articles talking about what sells, what doesn't sell, and why, let us know. We love having you be a part of the conversation because this is designed for agents and for loan officers to bring them value and to bring them fun. So without further ado, we're going to end it there. We go live every Friday, 9 a.m. Central, so don't be shy, and we will see you next week.